What's going on, people? Jimmy Bones here with my EA 2016 E3 review. Starting off, they showed Battlefield 1. They released a bunch of new gameplay as well as a couple of new gameplay trailers. Gameplay trailer looked fantastic. A little 2 minute teaser trailer they had there. They released hours, I guess hours and hours of footage of people actually just playing the game through. Battlefield 1 off the rip looks amazing. Looks fine. As long as you're not going the route of Hardline, the way that they did with that, um, it's like cops versus robbers and stupid scenarios like that. Like, keep it the way Battlefield is. I think it's a great step to go back to Battlefield, or excuse me, go back to World War One. No one else is doing that. Get away from this whole modern warfare, you know, um, saga that like last 5 years. Go back to Battlefield One. I feel like it's gonna be great. Or World War One. I keep saying that. I feel like it's gonna be great if they were to go back to World War One. It'll change up Battlefield, change up the game, something fresh to play. And really, the problem wasn't even with Battlefield 4 or Battlefield Hardline. It was the launch of the multiplayer. If that multiplayer for Battlefield 1 launches fine, then it'll be a hit. I'm not going to grab Battlefield 1 day one, solely because of the past releases of a couple Battlefield games, Battlefield 4 especially. I'll probably wait like a week or so if that's even necessary, maybe a couple days just to see how that gameplay launched, if it's broken or not, like Battlefield 4, which is completely abysmal, the worst multiplayer launch in online games history. I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna wait and watch Battlefield 1, see how it runs and performs and all that. I have no doubt that the gameplay is gonna be superb. They already said that they're gonna make the destruction a whole lot better and dynamic. Dice and that Frostbite engine, they're the absolute best at destruction when it comes to destruction and stuff like that. So I absolutely have faith in that. I have faith that the game is going to look beautiful. The game is probably going to run beautiful and accordingly. It's just that multiplayer needs to launch properly and intact, not broken like BF4, because that was just abysmal. My goodness. Um, they showed a cinematic trailer for Mass Effect Andromeda. I've already given my opinion on this in past videos, to where I do not care for any cinematic gameplay or cinematic trailers that be. If they were to release some gameplay for it, I would definitely that would definitely be something to get hyped over. I played Mass Effect 2 and 3, loved the second one, my favorite one. I love the gameplay on the third one though, it's just the story was a bit weaker, and of course that ending off rip. But yeah, definitely the story for Mass Effect 2 was crazy, from all the side missions and the main story, of course, amazing. Gameplay was amazing. So I'm definitely looking for Mass Effect Andromeda. Probably get a release date for next year, but we definitely need to see some gameplay and not cinematic trailers and dev diaries and whatnot. So what they did show gameplay for though was Titanfall 2. They released a little um, like 2 minute gameplay trailer for that. That's definitely something I wanted more than a cinematic trailer. I didn't have a big problem with Titanfall, the first one. I felt that the gameplay was not shallow, but I guess it was too easy because it had, of course, all those bots in there mixed with. But the single player, of course, not really something that I cared about too much. So I'm not even going to dive into that. But EA, they wanted to show and focus on the single player aspect of it, whereas most people just cared about the multiplayer. There weren't a lot of guns or maps, and the multiplayer was pretty much shallow for a multiplayer standalone game that Titanfall was. So they just need to, beef it up, put more guns, more maps, more dynamic gameplay, I guess. They don't need to focus too much on single player. Like, they probably won't. They'll give us like a 6-7 hour, if that, campaign, which most people won't play. And it'll be solely based on the multiplayer, I guess, the fun factor and the longevity of the game. Next, they got into a couple of the sports games. We know there's going to be a new NHL this year. They got into Madden. I'm not a fan of Madden because I guess it's been stagnant over the last, several years. Not really want to get back into Madden. Not really, too many games over here. They showed some FIFA gameplay. They focused a lot on FIFA. They're adding a new single player story aspect to it. Most kind of like 2K's My Career mode. You're playing as this dude named Hunter, I believe. They focused a lot on the single player aspect of FIFA. Even then, there's just another sports game there, another game that I'm not really into. I'm not into FIFA at all. Never played FIFA. Don't really care for the new installment of FIFA or these annual sports games, except for a select few. They got into a couple of Star Wars announcements. They have three Star Wars announcements or three Star Wars games in development. Excuse me. Of course, one of them is going to be Battlefront 2, which they did announce. I'm not sure if they gave a release date for that. I do know that they didn't show any gameplay for it, which I would assume is pretty much a carbon copy as far as visuals and graphics go of of Battlefront 2, which I have no problem with because Battlefront looked amazing. The only problem with that is the same problem that Titanfall. That the gameplay overall was shallow and it really lacked in content. The game looked beautiful. Game looked beautiful on PC. Of course, that Frostbite 3 engine. The game ran beautiful, ran fine on my system. I mean, I guess I beat out the recommended system requirements anyway. It's 970. The game looked beautiful. Game ran beautifully. It's just that the customization as well as the content for the game was lacking, and a bit of the gameplay was unfair where they had like the special characters or whatnot just come down and just wreck everyone. They didn't have a single player for that game, which was odd because I definitely would have loved to have run through maybe a 5-6 hour campaign. Star Wars, Battlefield's 4's campaign are not particularly like amazing, but as far as spectacle goes and spectacle wise and maybe attention to detail and what they, you can tell they tried to put a story together, but the main focus of Battlefield and what everyone is looking for when it comes to Battlefield is the multiplayer, and they try to focus on that with Battlefront. That'd be dope if they put a single player in there, and just added a bit more content into Battlefront 2. That'd be, that'd break even more records that Battlefront broke but didn't really deserve. But that's pretty much it for like the main things that the EA got into for the press conference review. I feel like it was somewhat in the middle. They showed, a couple of the sports games I didn't care for. They showed a lot of Battlefield 1 gameplay, which I'm definitely down for. Probably their number one game that I was anticipating from their press conference and what they, released. I didn't have a problem with them going back to World War One. I have faith in DICE. As long as the game launches fine, it's going to be a hit. So, look at that destruction. Wasn't their best conference, wasn't, their worst conference. I definitely remember them having a lot of pretty bad conferences. But pretty much the thing coming out of this conference is if Battlefield 1 launches intact, which is releasing this year, I'll be happy. So that's pretty much it for my review of EA's conference. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'm out.